the touch so light that you almost miss it before returning to stirring the pot, or stir his pot. Hello, and welcome to When Dreams Wake. This is a spicy Love and Deepspace dating sim in which you get to romance Zayne. So, let's get started. Winter has taken over Lincoln City. Outside the window, snow falls in slow, silent patterns. Inside the apartment is warm, but the cold feels like it followed you in. But your attention stays on the man moving through the kitchen. Sleeves pushed back as he prepares tea. The same man who, not long ago, tried to disappear from your life again. He lost control and hurt you. Just like he did when you were younger. And for him, that's inexcusable. But for you, it's not the pain that lingers. It's the thought of losing him. Again. You believe there's still a way through this. His evil, the shifting, Dawnbreaker. None of it scares you. You just need time to prove it. You convinced him to stay. Just a few days, but with the way he's been acting lately, you're not sure he'll see it through. Oh, he's so pretty. He places a cup in front of you. The warm scent rises, almost comforting. Drink it. It'll help with the cold. He turns to leave, but you reach out and catch his sleeve. Zayne. He freezes, but he still doesn't meet your eyes. Sit with me for a while. You're really gonna leave a guest alone? He gently untangles your fingers from the fabric. It's his way of putting distance between you. You know it's not out of cruelty but fear, which makes it hurt even more. Please, turn off the lights when you leave. The words are quiet but final. He walks to his room and closes the door behind him. You stay seated, watching as steam rises from the cup, twisting in the light. You don't touch it. Your fingers curl into your palm as your thoughts settle. He needs space and you'll give him that. You're not letting him seal himself off in his tower of solitude again. You're not afraid. Not of Dawnbreaker. Not of Zayne. You'll show him, and when it's time, he'll decide for himself. The wind cuts through your coat as you press the intercom and wait outside Zayne's door. It's only been a few days since he almost disappeared. He's still distant, but you won't give up. You've been visiting after work every day, determined to understand Dawnbreaker and what he's doing to Zayne. It's the only way to make sure he doesn't leave again. You've noticed the chocolate wrappers around the apartment. Even with the alternate quiet, Dawnbreaker is still surfacing. Not from a threat, but from something else. Like the line between them has thinned after too many shifts in too little time. He hasn't shown himself around you, but you swear you can feel him sometimes. Another gust of wind slices down the road, and you shiver. Still no answer. You glance down at the paper bag in your hands. It's already cooling, you don't want to barge in, but you're out of options. You key in the code. It's still the same after all this time. The lock clicks open. Zayne appears in the living room doorway. A chocolate wrapper crinkles in his grip. What are you doing here? The heater hums, but frost seems to emanate from his skin. The air tastes sharp and metallic. His eyes hold no warmth, no recognition of the careful progress you've made. This isn't the doctor. Your pulse jumps. Finally, you lift the paper bag like a peace offering. I got food and sweets. Zayne tosses the wrapper towards the trash. It misses, fluttering to the floor. Leave. His voice carries winter's edge. But you plant your feet. I just got here. Let's eat together. He steps forward, trying to brush past you. But you plant yourself in the doorway. His chest nearly collides with yours, difference in heat or lack of it impossible to ignore. You feel his breath ghost against your cheek when he leans down. Move. Nuh-uh, I'm staying put. I'm not going anywhere. His jaw flexes. For a moment it feels like he'll shove you aside. Instead his hand comes up, resting against the doorframe beside your head. The space between you shrinks. The air colder the longer he hovers. Your defiance, the set of your chin, only makes his eyes narrow further. You don't want to be here with me? No, I don't. You don't understand what I am. Then show me. Something flickers behind the ice in his eyes. When you think it's going to break, he blinks and the frost melts away, replaced by shame and worry. Zayne steps back like you've burned him. Don't do that. Do what? Encourage him. He's harmless. Zayne gives you a tired look that makes your stomach knot, like he's already lived through the ending you're trying to avoid. He pulls the bag from your hands without a word and heads towards the table. You follow. His hands move quietly, unboxing the food, setting it down with careful, practiced gestures. You watch the curve of his shoulder, the way his fingers still tremble when they brush yours by accident as he helps set the plates. You wonder which of them pulled away first. You sit together to eat. Zayne asks about your day and you share in the small details. A difficult mission, a colleague's joke, the way the wind nearly knocked you over on your way here. You try to keep the mood light and playful. You toss in a few teasing remarks, small nudges meant to get a reaction. He doesn't bite. There's no smile, no eye roll, just a soft hum now and then. Like he's listening but not really letting any of it reach him. But something shifts in the way he watches you. You can see cracks forming in his careful composure. When you stand to leave, you lean towards him, seeking some form of goodbye. Like before everything changed, he pulls back, putting distance between your bodies. Your face falls. Zayne, his fingers curl and uncurl on his side, like he's fighting the urge to reach for you. I The words die on his lips, and he looks away. Good night. Let me know when you get home. You gather your things in the heavy silence. He still carries the weight of what happened. The fear that his touch might harm you, that getting too close risks everything. The guilt has carved itself into the space between you, turning every gesture into a potential threat. You slip on your coat by the door, hoping tomorrow will bring you closer to breaking through the walls he built around himself. Behind you, the door stays open a second longer than it needs to. Well, I hope we can melt his icy walls, but I'm sure we can make him melt in another way.
Can you pass me the salt?
You're cooking together for the first time in a while. The snow's just fallen, blanketing the city in silence. Inside, the apartment smells like garlic and ginger, warmth clinging to the air as the stove hisses softly. You pinch a bit of salt from the container instead of handing him the whole thing, sprinkling it directly into his open palm. He looks down at the tiny pile, then at you. There's a flicker of amusement in his eyes.
You're being childish.
But his voice lacks its usual sharpness. There's something softer underneath, almost fond. Before he can reach across you for the salt container, you place it in his hand, fingers brushing his palm deliberately. The contact sends a small thrill through you. His skin is always cool, but now there's warmth creeping up from where you touched him.
Satisfied?
He doesn't pull his hand away immediately. Instead, he watches you with those keen eyes, like he's studying your face for something he's been missing. You can't stop the smile spreading across your lips. It's been days of careful distance, of him flinching away from every casual touch. But now he's looking at you the way he used to, like you're the only thing in the room worth his attention. Very. His gaze drops to your mouth for just a moment, before he turns back to the stove. But you catch the slight upturn of his lips, the way his movements seem less rigid than they have in days. Progress. Real progress. The TV murmurs in the background, filling the apartment with warmth. A drama plays until the screen cuts to breaking news about Eva. The temperature plummets instantly. You glance over. Zayne has gone rigid. Eyes locked on the screen. Hey, You turn down the heat. As you move, your hand catches the edge of a knife left on the counter and pain shoots through your finger. You hiss, watching blood well up on your fingertip. A cold hand wraps around your wrist, holding you still.
Don't touch it.
The voice isn't the doctor's. Not quite. You look up startled. And this is the first time Dawnbreaker has touched you. His grip is firm but careful, ice against your skin. A moment passes, then another. You stand frozen together, the TV continuing its broadcast. Are we waiting for something? He looks away, a mix of annoyance and embarrassment crossing his face.
The doctor is taking longer to come back this time.
He glances at you, then at your bleeding finger. Something shifts in his expression, concern breaking through the ice.
Here.
He returns with a first aid kit, and you watch, fascinated as he cleans your finger with methodical precision and applies a bandage. So you do care about me. He goes completely still, the bandage wrapper crinkling in his frozen grip. You do. You care about me. A flush creeps up his neck, stark against his pale skin. He looks anywhere but at you.
I don't want you bleeding on the food.
Liar. His eyes snap to yours, something dangerous flickering there. You were worried. I saw it.
You didn't know what you saw.
But his thumb brushes over the bandage you just applied. The touch so light that you almost miss it before returning to stirring the pot. I'll stir his pot. Silence fills the room for a moment. We finally get to spend some time together. Now, how should I call you? Dawn? The words tumble out before you can stop them. I know you're both Zayne, but it might get confusing if I keep saying Zayne for both of you. And saying the Zayne from another timeline doesn't really roll off the tongue, you know? He glances at you briefly, then back at the stove.
Do as you want.
You try drawing him into conversation, asking about his day, commenting on the snow, even talk about chocolate. But every attempt meets the same response. Non-committal hums or single-worded answers. When the food finally finishes cooking, he moves towards the sofa. His gait is uneven, like each step costs him effort. The air grows sharper and colder, the TV screen flickering erratically. You look at Zayne and see black eyes spreading across his neck. Are you alright? He raises his hand, urgency flashing in his eyes.
Don't come closer.
Oh, you know me. Lack of self-preservation. Step closer. You ignore his warning and settle beside him on the sofa, reaching for his hand. He tries to pull away, but your grip holds firm. It doesn't hurt me. Let me offer you a bit of comfort.
Save it for the doctor. He deserves it, not me.
Don't say that.
You know what these hands have done.
His voice cracks slightly.
I hurt you.
You hurt yourself. Something triggered you, didn't it? He turns away, jaw tight.
It doesn't matter.
Your fingers tighten around his. He sighs to sound heavy with resignation, but he stops trying to pull free. Silence stretches between you. The ice on his neck has stopped spreading, but he still looks like he's fighting something invisible. You decide conversation might be the distraction that he needs. How's your world?
It's not worth talking about.
That bad, huh? You try for lightness, but his expression remains granite. I'm not in it to make it better? The joke dies in the air. His face turns somber, almost pained.
No.
A single word hits like a physical blow. Oh. The silence that follows feels heavier than before. You try to imagine as well the desolate place where he moves through endless grey hunting monsters that used to be people. I wish both of you could stay here. His head snaps towards you, genuine surprise flickering across his features.
Why?
I don't want you to suffer. You don't seem to like where you come from. He opens his mouth and closes it. Something vulnerable crosses his face before he looks away. You stay like that for a while. Eventually, you set a plate of food beside him on the coffee table. He stares at it like it's a foreign object. In his world, there's probably no time for meals shared in warmth. No one to notice if he's eaten or rested. It's not poisoned. That earns you a faint huff of air. Not a laugh, but close. You go about cleaning up, rinsing dishes at the sink. The sound of running water fills the quiet, then arms come around you. Whoa, Zayne? He's trembling against your back, holding onto you like you might disappear. You lean into him, hand reaching back to stroke his hair. You were gone for a while this time. Were you in his world?
Kind of. I could still feel what he felt here. It was like seeing color for the first time.
Your heart aches for both of them. Zayne, who fears what he might become, and Dawnbreaker, who's forgotten what it means to be human. He's not used to kindness. Zayne hums against your neck, the sound vibrating through you.
But still, you shouldn't get too close.
You don't answer, but your hand continues its soothing motions through his hair. You wish you could shelter them both here. Keep Dawnbreaker from returning to that grey wasteland where hope goes to die. But there has to be other ways to help. She glides across the ice ahead of him, cheeks flushed, arms stretched slightly for balance. Her laugh rises soft and bright, disappearing into open air. Zayne watches her, unmoving. The rink isn't crowded. Scattered couples are circling slowly, hands held, leaning close. It's a kind of scene he has no business being in. Not anymore. He was supposed to leave days ago. This was meant to be a temporary goodbye. A few days. Just long enough to ease her into the parting. He never intended to stay longer. He told himself he wouldn't, but he's still here. Watching her smile like nothing between them has changed. Going to the library can wait another day. The distance he needs to put between them can wait another day. Which part of him keeps making these excuses? The doctor who's always been addicted to her presence, or the other one who watches her hungrily from the shadows? The other him has been manageable lately, almost docile. It doesn't make sense. In his world, there's no room for gentleness, yet around her, he's different. Zayne is grateful that he isn't a threat. For now, he still doesn't understand what triggered the first attacks against her. Both times it was like watching someone else puppeteer his body, feeling the rage and desperation but unable to stop it. His other self never explained it, but Zayne doesn't ask. He doesn't want to think about it, at least not for now. He keeps the conversation short, practical. Their only way of communicating being hastily scrawled notes left around the apartment. Don't eat the last of the chocolate. She brings more. Turn the heat up. She gets cold. Stay away from her. That last one gets ignored more often than not. Since the kitchen incident, the other him has grown bolder, touching her wounded finger, allowing her to sit close, too close. It frustrates Zayne beyond measure, this lack of control over his own body. Sometimes Zayne wonders if this is what the other one felt when he dreamed through his eyes, when he watched this life from the outside unable to touch it. Zayne never expected to understand that kind of longing, and now it won't leave him alone. Sometimes he wants to warn her, to explain the danger she's courting, but she already shows too much interest in his other self. You know me, if dangerous, why sexy? The way her eyes light up when she talks about Dawn, that ridiculous nickname she's given him, as if he's something gentle, something worthy of affection rather than fear. But Zayne can't forget what he's seen in those nightmares, what he has done in this world. The blood on his hands, the body left behind. And the fact that his other self claims that those deaths of mercy doesn't change what they are. After all that, how can she look at both of them and still see something worth saving? She waves at him from across the ice, breaking his spiraling thoughts. Did you get frozen or what? The irony isn't lost on him. He skates over, his movements more controlled but less natural than hers. He was supposed to be gone by now. Instead, he's here, stealing moments he has no right to claim. I hope this doesn't get sad. The rink feels intimate, despite the handful of other couples scattered across the ice. Zayne pulls you in closer as you glide together, his arm sliding around your waist to guide you through a turn. Your bodies move in sync, and when you stumble slightly, he catches you against his chest. You don't pull away, and neither does he. His hand stays at the small of your back, keeping you pressed close. Your faces are inches apart now, breath mingling in small clouds between you. This close, you can see the flecks of green in his hazel eyes, can feel the warmth of his body seeping through your jacket.
If we were to switch when we're this close, what would you do?
His voice is low and rough. The question sends heat spiraling through you despite the cold. His eyes drop to your lips and back up, and you can feel the tension crackling between you like electricity. You realize he's not just talking about himself, he's talking about the other him. The one who might take his place in this exact moment, the one who might wake up with his hands already on your skin, and he's afraid of what you might do. What he might do. I wouldn't move. His pupils dilate slightly. The hand at your back flexes, fingers pressing more firmly against your spine. Disapproval wars with something darker in his expression. Want, maybe, or fear of his own reaction to your answer. Why are you asking, Dr. Zayne? Are you jealous of your own self? How cute. But you're already pushing off, skating backwards away from him with a wicked smile. The frustration and desire warring in his expression only fuels your teasing. He follows predatory grace in every moment as he closes the distance you've created. You glide towards the edge of the ring, your boots automatically shifting as you step onto solid ground. The smart technology reshaping the blades into normal soles. Wait, that's so cool. Zayne follows, his own boots adapting with a quiet sound. The snow crunches against your feet as you bend to scoop up a handful, packing it into a perfect sphere. You're already winding up to throw it when you catch sight of his eyes. The shift is subtle, but unmistakable. Dawn, throw it anyway. You release the snowball straight into his face. Snow splatters across his hair and jaw. For a beat, he just stands there, expression unreadable. You burst out laughing, breath forming clouds in the frozen air. Oops! He leans down without a word, hands forming a perfect snowball with practiced efficiency. You don't wait and start to run, he gives chase. Snow explodes around you as projectiles fly back and forth. You dodge and slip across the white ground, laughing breathlessly while he moves with precision. Maybe you're the only one laughing. You can't tell through the adrenaline. You round the corner near the rink wall, when he catches up from behind and he grabs your arm. You yelp as momentum carries you both down. Feet slipping in the packed snow. You tumble together into the drift. You land hard with snow flying everywhere. Yeah, I'll show him a hard landing, alright. When the world stops spinning, he's above you, knees straddling your thighs, hands planted in the snow beside your shoulders. He goes completely still. The cold vanishes under the heat that ignites between your bodies. Your breath catches, creating wisps of vapor in the space separating you. His face hovers close enough to see the individual snowflakes melting against his skin, close enough to feel the tension coiled in every muscle. You reach up and brush ice crystals from his temple with careful fingers. He doesn't move, watching you with half-lidded eyes. The moment stretches between you like a held breath. His gaze drops to your lips, lingering there with an intensity that makes your pulse stutter. Then it goes back to your eyes, searching for something he's afraid to find. Heat pulls in your stomach as you realize how perfectly his body cages yours. How his weight presses into the snow without crushing you. And then he's pulling away, standing with sudden urgency. He offers you his hand, cheeks flush with something that has nothing to do with the winter air. You take his hand and let him pull you to your feet. You make your way through the park, boots crunching in the snow. Even without touching, the distance between you has never felt thinner. Dawn walks beside you. He's quiet but not as rigid as usual. When he first appears, he's always ice. Serious and quiet, like a piece of the other world still clinging to him. But lately he's been melting faster. His gaze drifts around more, noticing three things. The snowflakes falling and landing on tree branches. The warm glow of the light strung along the path. You stop at a small food stall, hand the woman a few coins and wait for your order. The smell of warm pastry fills the cold air, steam drifting in soft curls. Then you feel it. The temperature dips sharply, unnatural. You turn and see Dawn staring at his hands. Black ice is crawling across his fingers, webbing down his knuckles. You freeze. For just a second. Your body remembers the way the ice pierced through your skin. I'm gonna wait. You stare back, you stay put, watching as he focuses intently on his hands. Danger doesn't scare me, and I have no sense of self-preservation or shame. The ice shifts and reshapes under his concentration, forming something intricate and beautiful. He opens his palm towards you. A jasmine flower made of ice rests there, each petal carved with impossible detail. For you. You take it carefully from him, cradling it in your gloved hands. Each petal is perfectly carved. You turn it slowly, light glinting off its crystalline edges. It's beautiful. Thank you, Dawn.
I'm sorry for hurting you.
He glances up, eyebrows rising. His voice is quiet.
I don't want to lose control again.
I forgive you. His eyes widen just slightly, like he didn't expect those words, not after everything.
You shouldn't.
But I do. You hold his gaze, refusing to let him retreat. His breathing slows, something flickers across his features, pain mixed with something that might be peace. He nods once, barely perceptible.
Then I won't forget it.
Before neither of you can say more, he blinks and the warmth returns to his eyes. Zayne's back. He notices the flower still cradled in your palm, eyebrows rising slightly in question. Then without a word, he extends his hand. You watch as white particles shimmer around his fingers, his evil activating. Ice swarms in his palms touched with pale blue undertones. When he finally finishes, he places a small snowman into your other hand. You bring it closer to your face. Every detail is perfect. The round body, the curved smile. Even tiny ice spheres for eyes. A snowman? Really?
A superior sculpture.
Laughter bubbles up from your chest, breath puffing out in invisible clouds. The server extends the food order, steam rising from the paper bag. Zayne takes it since your hands are occupied.
You're holding too many things.
And whose fault is that?
Drop the jasmine.
Absolutely not.
Then open your mouth.
Wait, what? In public? He tears off a piece of the steaming pastry. and brings it towards your lips. You let him place the morsel on your tongue. Warmth spreads through you, sweet and perfect against the winter air. You hum in appreciation. Zayne watches you closely. There's something fond in the way his eyes soften, then they flick to the flower in your hand again. I thought his evil abilities would be more refined. You hum non-committally, too distracted by the delicious food, and open your mouth again. He tears off another bite of pastry, then pauses. Say it. Say what? That mine's better. Zayne, childish. Are you serious? He lifts the food just out of reach. You make a noise of protest, chasing him around the edge of the stall as laughter spills from your lips. Who's being childish now? He maintains his distance for a few moments, clearly savoring his leverage over you. When he finally relents offering you the warm pastry, he's smiling. Alright, that's enough. You're relentless. The smile catches you off guard. You can't tell who's looking back at you, if it's Zayne's careful affection or Dawn's rare glimpse of joy. You take the pastry with a smile of your own, then glance down at the two sculptures in your hands, one delicate and dark and the other precise and bright. You cradle them both with quiet care, aware of how easily either could break. The sun bleeds orange across the wasteland horizon, painting the buildings in shades of rust and gold. Zayne sits on the edge of a crumbling rooftop, legs dangling over nothing, watching the sky burn. But now he's not waiting for the red dot on his map, or the wet sound of claws scraping raw concrete. He's waiting for the switch. The pull hasn't started yet. That strange tugging sensation that means his world and the doctor's are about to blur together. But it will come, and when it does, he'll trade this desolate skyline for a warm lamplight and the sound of her laughter. His fingers trace the edge of a chocolate wrapper crumpled in his pocket. It's empty like everything else in this place, but the memory of sweetness remains. Not the chocolate itself, but the way she'd smile when she gave it to him. The way she watched him with those careful eyes, like he was something worth studying instead of something to fear. The doctor thinks he's dangerous. Maybe he is. His hands have taken more lives than either of them can count. Even if death was a form of kindness, the doctor's notes still burn in his mind. Stay away from her. Scrawled in familiar handwriting on a post-it, as if distance could erase what's already taken root. He tried at first, tried to keep space between them, but it never lasted. He still keeps his distance when he can, not for the doctor's sake, but for hers. If he loses control again, but no, he won't. She's the warmth that keeps him from spiraling when the sun disappears, and the sky rots into grey. She's the thing that proves he's still connected to something human, still capable of feeling. She makes her remember what it feels like to want something other than the next kill. The next mercy he'll deliver to creatures that used to be human. When her fingers brush his, when she doesn't flinch away from the ice spreading across his skin, it cracks something inside him open. Something he thought had died years ago. He's not just watching anymore, he's living. The sensation is foreign, almost painful, like blood returning to a limb that's been numb too long. But he holds every second of it, even though he knows he shouldn't. He can never stay for long. The familiar creep of black ice always comes, a reminder that the warmth isn't his to keep. The longer he lingers, the more it spreads, marking him as the intruder he is. It's not fair to her. She looks at him and he wants to give her everything, but he's borrowing time that belongs to the doctor. Time that belongs to the man that she truly loves. Once again, why is there angsted by Spud? And the pull starts, like fingers threading through smoke. The world begins to blur at the edges, color bleeding out until only sensation remains. He knows he shouldn't want this. Knows the black ice will come. Knows he's stealing moments that aren't his. Knows the doctor's fury will be waiting in hastily scrawled notes. But a smile tugs at the corner of his mouth anyway. He can't help it. Not when she's there. Days blur together in a strange rhythm. You split your time between them. Zayne, who still refuses to return to work, and Dawn, who surfaces more frequently now. The switches happen so often that sometimes you have to really study their eyes to know who you're talking to. But the cold always gives Dawn away after some time. Zayne is busy, but he refuses to talk about it. You don't ask too much, but you wonder what he does while you're away. You suspect it has something to do with the white-haired boy he's mentioned before. A relative, though Zayne never explains the connection clearly. Dawn is different. He answers your questions about his world with reluctant honesty, even when he insists there's nothing worth sharing. Grey skies, empty buildings, the sound of wind through broken glass. You piece together the fragments he offers, building a picture of desolation that makes your chest ache. He never talks about what he does there, but you know, the notes scattered around the apartment tell their own story. The two only seem to communicate through them. He thought Dawn would have better handwriting, not being a doctor and all, but apparently illegible scrawls are just a shared trait. Half the time you can't even tell what the words are.
Why is there a plant on the windowsill? She bought it. It's going to die. Everything dies.
They're so cute.
Helpful. I could freeze it. Preserve it. That's not how plants work. How would you know?
You started leaving your own responses scribbled in margins like a three-way conversation that never happens face to face. It's a succulent, guys. Very hard to kill. Dawn, please don't freeze my plant. Zayne, water it when I'm at work.
I don't know how to water plants.
Instructions are on the fridge. You become their translator, carrying conversations between two versions of the same man who refuse to speak directly. It shouldn't work, but somehow it does. Zayne's shoulders relax slightly when you mention Dawn's dry sense of humor. Dawn's ice responds gentler when you share Zayne's concerns. Small progress, but progress nonetheless. The apartment is warm. You're curled against Zayne's side on the sofa, his hand resting on your thigh with comfortable familiarity. The day he promised to leave has come and gone. Then another, and each time he finds a reason to stay. One more day, one more week, until he just finishes that research or ties up that loose end. I'll tie up his loose ends. And by loose end, I mean him. You don't complain. Whatever you're doing seems to be working. The medical drama on screen drones in the background, doctors making impossible saves and falling in love between crises. Zayne watches with detached interest as someone who knows exactly how unrealistic the soul is. Did you know Dawn likes these shows? Zayne makes that sound. A soft hum that's become his default response whenever you mention his other self. Not quite dismissal, but not engagement either. He's memorized half the dialogue, even quotes it under his breath when he thinks I'm not listening.
Why do you keep telling me these things?
There's no real irritation in his voice, just weary confusion. His thumb traces absent patterns against your leg. If you understand him better, you'll end up understanding yourself better. His touch grows firmer, fingers pressing into your skin with unconscious tension. The lightness in his expression shifts, becoming something more serious.
What do you think about him?
The question catches you off guard. It's the first time he's asked directly, without deflection or that careful professional distance he usually maintains. He's an enigma. There's still so much we don't know about him. I understand why you're cautious. Relief flickers across Zayne's features, like you validated something he's been struggling with. His grip on your thigh relaxes slightly. But I don't think he's as dangerous as you believe. Not to me anyway. Just like how you are dangerous.
You can't know that for certain.
No, but I trust my instincts. Zayne nods slowly, processing your words. The medical drama continues its melodramatic soundtrack in the background. You shift to face him more fully, studying the sharp line of his profile in the afternoon light. What do you think about him? The question hangs between you. His hand stills completely on your leg and you hold your breath, waiting. You wondered about this, whether his opinion has softened with time, whether the notes and shared moments have chipped away at his resistance. Zayne looks down at his hands, flexing his fingers like he's testing their responsiveness.
When he's here, I can feel what he feels, see fragments of what he sees.
His voice drops lower, more uncertain than you've ever heard it.
And sometimes I can't tell where I end and where he begins anymore. I don't know if I'm watching or living, and it terrifies me.
The admission makes something flutter in your chest. Hope maybe, or relief when he's finally sharing his feelings about this with you. Why?
Because if we're the same person, if what separates us is just circumstance, then wants to stop me from becoming him, what if it's not a choice at all, but inevitable?
His fingers curl into the fabric of your pants, anchoring himself.
What if this is just borrowed time before I lose myself completely? What if I'm destined to hurt you?
The vulnerability in his voice breaks something open in your chest. You start to shift closer, but he pulls back slightly, creating distance. We'll fight it. Together.
You don't understand.
You reach for his hand, but he moves it away from your reach, fingers curling into fists at his sides. The space between you feels charged, electric, but he's fighting against it with everything he has. His gaze drops to your lips and snaps away like he's been burned.
You should be afraid of what I might become.
I'm more afraid of losing who you are right now. You lean closer, testing his boundaries. His breath catches, but he doesn't move away this time. Yay! I see you, Zayne. Both of you. And I'm not going anywhere. Something in his carefully constructed control fractures. You lean closer, your lips almost brushing against his.
I can't. If he surfaces while we're...
Then let him. The words seem to shadow whatever restraint he's been clinging to. His hand finally makes contact, cupping your face with desperate gentleness, thumb brushing along your cheekbone.
You don't know what you're saying.
I know exactly what I'm saying. What if we're bang-a-langin' and Zayne switches between him and Dawn, and they're both just super into it? You lean into his touch. A small movement breaks his resolve completely. His other arm comes around you, pulling you against him as his mouth finds yours with desperate hunger. The kiss is nothing like the ones you shared before. His lips moving against yours with an intensity that stills your breath. Then the temperature drops. The change happens mid-kiss, warmth bleeding away until his mouth grows cold against yours, his touch shifting from fever to something more controlled. When you pull back slightly, different eyes meet yours. Dawn. Oh, see? He tries to jerk away immediately, but your hands twist in his shirt, keeping him close.
I'm sorry,
Don't apologize. The guilt written across his face makes your chest ache. He looks like he's committed some terrible crime instead of kissing you back. I kissed you back. Both of you. His breath catches. You can see the disbelief warring with hope in his expression. It's okay. His hands hover near your face, close enough that you feel the chill but not quite making contact.
Cold.
I don't care. You guide his palms to your cheeks. The cold seeps through your skin, sharp but manageable. His thumb traces your jaw with reverent care.
I love you.
The words fall between you like a confession torn from his chest. Before you can respond, his mouth is on yours again. The kiss burns with the kind of intensity that comes from months of wanting, or watching from the shadows while another man lived in the life he craved. The cold radiating from his skin should be uncomfortable, but instead it heightens every sensation. When his teeth catch your lower lip, you gasp against his mouth. Temperature shifts again, cold melting into warmth, so suddenly you feel dizzy. Zayne blinks disoriented, his hands stilling on your waist. The confusion in his eyes clears as he processes where he is and what's happening.
I hate...
But before he can fully retreat, the cold returns. Dawn's hands tighten on your hips possessively. They're switching too fast. Caught between control and desire, oh my god. Neither able to maintain dominance while you're this close and this willing.
Zayne, no.
Dawn shakes his head slightly, trying to clear the disorientation.
You sure?
The voice could belong to either of them. Maybe it doesn't matter anymore. You answer by reaching for the hem of his shirt instead of with words. His skin is cold to the touch but warming under your caress. Your hands drift down his torso, mapping the lean muscle, the subtle scars.
I never thought.
The words trail off into silence. His hand rises slowly, trembling when it brushes your skin, almost afraid to touch. His fingers trace the hem of your clothes with reverence, every motion hesitant like he's afraid of overstepping. It's okay. Your reassurance snaps something in him.
I thought you only wanted him.
I want you, Zayne. Every version of you. That's such a romantic, like, I love you in every universe type of thing. Why are you in such a rush? We have all the time now, relax. He stops, chest heaving, eyes lifting to meet yours. The disbelief in his gaze makes your throat tighten. At first you can track the difference as they shift, the doctor's careful precision giving way to Dawn's hungry devotion. This is... the way that they're just like shifting back and forth. It's kind of like a, you know, a group of three. That's really hot. Warm becomes cold, becomes warm again until you can't tell anymore when one ends and the other begins. Zayne's familiar touch anchors you as you drift back to awareness. He lifts you gently, cradling you in his arms and carries you through the quiet space to his bedroom. Oh wow, okay, well, here we go.
The doctor is not pleased, but it's my turn now. I waited for too long. For you. For this.
Oh my god. Wow, it's so detailed as well.
You're saving me and ruining me at the same time.
His arm is so nicely drawn. Man, the anatomy is so good.
I'll take everything you give me,
Just like how I'm taking you, huh? Can I just point out that, like, towards the upper portion of the rod, the shape is very nice.
I hate that he gets to have this. I can't understand why you'd want him, why you'd want me, but I can't let go of you either.
His voice breaks.
Burn it into me so I'll never forget what it feels like to be yours.
The voices twist around you hot and cold.
I can't let go of you. I can't.
The temperature drops as you catch your breath.
Thank you, I don't deserve...
You do. You deserve everything. Your heartbeat is stilled and he gathers you close, holding on, as though you might vanish. Oh god.
It's my turn now.
Zayne?
I still don't understand, but I can't stop. Not with you. Not tonight. I've decided to stay.
Yay! His voice carries conviction, but when you look into his eyes, you see something extraordinary happening. The careful boundaries between them seem to be dissolving, shifting and blending until it's impossible to tell where one ends and the other begins. The look changes again and again. Sometimes the doctor's careful intensity, sometimes Dawn's desperate hunger, sometimes something that feels like the both of them existing in the same moment, as if they're both moving through space and time itself to love the same woman. 2 lifetimes of longing focused on a single moment on you. This has potential to be so messy, but at the moment, it's actually kind of sweet and romantic and very hot. Both versions of him choosing to stay. Choosing you. Choosing this complicated but perfect thing you've created together. It might be stolen time, but it belongs to you. Ending 1 out of 2. Yay! Well, bad ending time. I'm not excited for the bad ending. I think it's gonna be sad. Alright, we are at the start of the bad ending. How I got here was that I picked all the options to shy away from Dawn and basically to be really inconsiderate. And then when Zayne asked me if I think, you know, who Dawn is, instead of saying that he's an enigma, I say he's you. And yeah, that didn't sit too well. The weight of unspoken truth settles between you. Zayne's thumb has stopped its gentle patterns against your thigh, his entire body gone rigid with whatever thoughts are churning behind those hazel eyes. The medical drama drones on, but neither of you are watching anymore. The air feels charged, electric with the kind of tension that precedes storms.
I don't trust him yet. I don't fully trust myself.
But these days...
I tried, but it's not the same. I know you feel it too. I can't relax knowing that I can lose control and...
His fingers press deeper into your skin. Not quite painful but desperate, like he's trying to anchor himself, and you put your hand over his. But yeah, it's like if you don't trust Dawn enough, and if you don't show Zayne that he's gentle and has potential to be loved, this happens. You won't. He hums a sound that carries more weight than words. His arm tightens around you, pulling you closer until you're pressed against his side. You keep watching the drama, but your mind drifts elsewhere. The dialogue becomes white noise against the storm brewing in the room. Zayne seems equally distant, his gaze fixed.
The temperature keeps shifting, warm to cold, cold to warm, like the apartment itself can't decide what it wants to be. Neither of you acknowledge it. The silence stretches, heavy with things that need saying but can't quite find their way to the surface. Maybe today isn't a good day to talk. Maybe tomorrow will bring clearer skies and steadier ground. I don't think there is going to be a tomorrow. You wake to empty sheets and winter sunlight. See? The space beside you is cold. No lingering warmth to suggest you stayed through the night. Your hand reaches across the expanse of the mattress, finding only rumpled fabric and the ghost of his presence. Your heart knows before your mind catches up. The apartment feels different, hollow, like all the life has been sucked out of it. You pull on his shirt, the fabric still carrying traces of his scent, and pad barefoot through rooms that echo with absence. On the kitchen counter, a single piece of paper waits. The handwriting is a mix of the two familiar ones you know so well. Letters that blur and blend like two voices trying to speak as one. I'll figure this out myself. You try his phone. It goes straight to voicemail. You try again, each time met with the same digital void. The same confirmation that he's chosen to disappear again rather than face whatever's happening with him by your side. Phone clatters onto the counter when you finally give up. You know he's afraid of himself. Of what he might become, but knowing doesn't make it hurt less. All you can do is keep moving forward. Keep protecting the city. Searching for answers about Ever and their plans. Somewhere in there might be the key to understanding what's happening to Zayne. Part of you knows he'll come back eventually. Your paths are too entangled, your connection too deep for this to be the end. You just wonder how long it will take this time, and what you two will have become by then.
See? This is sad. I hate this. Aww. Well, that was both endings to When Dreams Wake. I hope you guys enjoyed that. But yeah, I thought this was a really nice take. I know Kaiwei mentioned that it was almost kind of like a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde type of situation going. And I really like the fact that instead of picking one over the other, the best ending is like learning to accept them both and teaching both versions of Zayne that he's worthy of love and appreciation and care. And I thought that was communicated really well. I'm a little bit worried because, like, you know, obviously the good ending, you know, regardless of Zayne staying and us being able to bang-a-lang them both, it might become a bit complicated if they start getting jealous of each other and begin fighting, because then I don't know what's going to happen then. For the moment, it does seem like they've made peace with each other, and that is really nice to see. But yeah, once again, major props to Kaiwei. The writing was great, the art was gorgeous, and the animations themselves are just getting better and better. I really love this. If you guys do want to support Kaiwei, her games are available on her Patreon, which I have linked below. And also, if you want the full uncut reaction to that spicy scene with Zayne, that is on my Patreon as well, which is also linked below. But thank you so much again for spending time with me and for exploring Zayne's story with me. And until the next section of Man, take care.